All right. Welcome back to Bourbon Kingdom Live. It's been a while.
Are we live? I always like to say that because I have no clue.
You know how it goes. I'm sure we are going to be live here in a second.
Probably.
All you people out there already on the stream, you can tell us
Here we are.
if we're live or not live.
No, we're good.
We are still working out kinks, but I mean, we're going to have fun tonight.
Not that kind of kink.
No, definitely not that kind of kink. But we are having a lot of fun, and we are excited. I've been out of the country for a week, so I've not really done much bourbon drinking, and I'm ready to drink a little bit tonight, share, and have a little bit of fun.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's needed. I mean, we haven't got together in, what, months?
It feels like, it does feel like
well,
that.
I mean, we just got so much catch up on.
Yeah.
It's like not even funny. So
true.
Mick Whiskey. What's going on, guy? I see you.
Kick his butt.
Blake, nice talking to you. I was talking to Blake today, which, Blake, I just saw your text message again, like probably 25 minutes ago. I was like, I'll text him tomorrow. So Blake keeps texting. Like Blake will text me something, and then I just will forget all about it because I'll be on nights.
Oh, yeah. Well, you do. I mean, let's just face it. You have a jacked up schedule.
I mean, it is a consistent jacked up schedule.
It is.
But I feel terrible because I hate missing texts, but I keep missing Blake's.
Yeah.
So I almost need like a special like thing for Blake, if I'm being honest. So, gone fishing. What's up, buddy?
Don't hold your breath, Blake.
Look, out of everybody here, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, it just gets bad on my 3 night works.
That is true.
My 4 night works aren't too bad.
Yeah.
It's my 3 night works during the middle of the week that get bad, which is when I think he actually texted me originally the first time.
Yeah. I mean, no telling.
So, but what trade value would you put on E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof in a stacked 15?
I would gladly trade you a Willet pot still for that E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof.
Man, I'll be honest with you. I have no clue. The market is so, like, the secondary market's so volatile and so up and down. I have no clue what any of that stuff is. Hey, what's going on, ADHD Whiskey? Actually, mentioning of him, we actually have a sample from him that we're going to be sampling.
Yeah, we do.
Tonight and trying. So
thank you.
We'll talk about that here in a minute once everybody kind of gets in here and we first start talking.
Yeah.
Or but we start talking more about everything.
Oh, Richmond, Kentucky. Love Richmond, Kentucky.
Where's that at?
That's the home of EKU, Eastern Kentucky University.
Oh, I was just looking to see where you saw that
at. Just popped on.
Oh, I see.
You may be a little bit behind me.
I think I am a little bit behind.
But
no. Only in this one subject.
Yes. Only in this subject.
Maybe back roads of Mount Washington, too. Maybe.
Listen, they're not. There's only like 4 of them.
Yeah. Cheers, Circle City. Tucker, let's see. No, it wasn't Tucker. I'm sorry.
Nice, Tucker. That's awesome. We got EKU football player.
That's awesome. Cool. I want to go back to this. Silent Killer. No. So I actually worked all of this weekend during the Bourbon Festival whenever all these crazy drops were going on. We're going to catch up on that too.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot. So I was working all weekend. I actually snagged like one thing on Sunday.
Yeah.
That dropped late. I did snag a Weller 12 because, but Liquor Barn just dropped like 6 cases of store except for like a couple of them. So it was just a massive amount.
I only snagged something because the dude dropped it off to me.
What was that? My bottle?
Our bottle.
Our bottle.
Our bottle.
Our bottle. So, but yeah.
Full disclosure, I was in Guatemala all last week. Got home late Friday night at about 11:30. Turned around, woke up, and went to the UK football game, and did not have time to do anything.
No,
again, family sometimes comes first, not all the time, but 97% of the time.
Yeah.
And my son wanted to go to the football game, so that's where we went.
Oh, I don't blame you.
Yeah. But I did miss out on a lot of stuff Saturday morning because of it.
Oh, you missed out on stuff all weekend. It was just constantly just dropping stuff left and right. But man, it was just, I don't remember last couple years of the Bourbon Festival stuff dropping like that.
Yeah.
But But I mean, well, actually, I take it back. There was probably a couple, maybe like 3 years ago ish. So
first baseman, to me, any of the OE recipe is to me really, really good. I don't know where I rank it amongst the SK amongst the other ones, but I do. I have 2 OESKs open at my house. I should just tell you that it ranks pretty high for me. I like it a lot.
So basement, should I just call you first baseman, or should I just say the whole name, first baseman bar? Instead, we were actually having this conversation Memorial Weekend about Four Roses, and not Dave and I, but some friends who, this is kind of like the crew I mostly run around with. Whenever we collect bourbon, we hunt for bourbon, all this fun stuff. With Four Roses,
Ooh,
I cannot think. I don't know why I put that away.
That's interesting.
I cannot think of a bad barrel strength I've had from Four Roses, or it has dropped here locally in going on 2 years.
Yeah.
And because I was talking to a couple guys, I was like, man, has Four Roses really had a miss? Like, have you seen a barrel strength that you're like, yeah, it was a little flat, or it wasn't my jam, or whatever else? We couldn't think of one except for like 2.5 years ago. And I don't know if it was a Total Wine or a Liquor Barn one that we're just kind of like, but they have crushed it here lately. So if I was going to be honest with you, I think when it comes to recipes right now, I think
they are
really good. Like some of the best stuff that's hitting the market consistently all the time.
The OEs have a tendency to be my favorite, though. To be truthful, those are kind of
Brian. No.
Brian. Yes, can we please see that?
Yes. And you know what's bad is I'm drinking out of a Mutz Glen too right now.
Shout out to the Mutz.
Yeah. What's up? I gotta catch up here in chat a little bit. So first basement bar, I'm not gonna call you that. It's all good. Let's see, John Buddy.
We'll just call you JA. How about that? First baseman. We'll
DW. No, it's Pappy. It's you said Basil Hayden. Whenever you normally say something else, it's normally the other thing.
Yeah, always
outside of what, a handful of other things.
I'm not even sure. There's that Willet pot still that's sitting over there beside you. Ron, is that you, Ronnie Keith? If that is, it's weird to see your name on here as Ron Keith. But if it's Ronnie Keith, what's up, man? How are you doing?
Todd, cheers from Southern California. Nice having you, bud. Let's see. You already said something to Rod. Oh, awesome. Circle City Bourbon. Man, where are you from? Are you from here around in the Kentucky part, or somewhere else in this lovely country of ours?
By the way, you said you got a Michter's. I am most sad that the Michter's sour mash, toasted sour mash dropped on Saturday, and I am most disappointed. Well, good, Ronnie. I'm not calling you Ron Keith. That sounds too formal. But I'm most sad that I did not get that bottle, and I'm going to be figuring out ways to get said bottle, because that was the thing I was most excited about.
Harris, what is your price range that you're wanting to spend? Like, realistically, how much are you willing to spend, and how much would you like to ideally spend? Because that will kind of dictate where we're
at. Yeah,
if I'm being honest.
Yeah, it'll definitely dictate it.
Brian put on there for real about the Four Roses, the OESO, OESV, OBSV, and the OESK. So Brian's, he's one of my buddies, and we run around the same group. Brian, have you had a bad Four Roses here in the last year and a half, 2 years, or whatever from anywhere that doesn't pick around here? Because I can't think of one. I can't think of a recipe that hasn't done well around here in some way, shape, or form, regardless of the tier.
Yeah.
Like I'm to the point now, like I don't even, I know people chase after the tiers. It doesn't, to me, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So
J House, listen, we've only heard the rumblings of the Remus 6 and what it is. We are anxiously awaiting Remus 6 to get somewhere in our area so we can snatch that mug up.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it's any close to Remus 5, everybody should be very, very happy about it.
You know what's funny? We sit here and we talk about Four Roses, and all of a sudden, Band and Bourbon comes in here. What's up, Brian?
What's up, Brian?
Let's see.
It's just your bat ears were on, Brian.
Yeah, no doubt.
Oh man.
Oh,
That's the best bourbon I've had
Brian,
in a week and a half.
Brian, what's the second one? It was a Jack and Coke was first.
Yeah,
Brian, you didn't like that? You see, I like that pick. If I'm being honest with you, like I didn't think it was bad at all. I thought it was actually pretty decent. So that was me.
Tucker, we have not seen the 922 yet.
No, I haven't seen that, and I also haven't seen the Remus or any hints of it. So I imagine that C22 it'll pop up soon. I mean, both of them will pop up sooner or later.
So, Abandon, what would you say about Four Roses over the last couple of years?
So Brian, I don't know if you heard this or not. So we were just talking about Four Roses, how really I haven't had a bad pick from Four Roses in our area. I can't speak otherwise. I mean, I'm sure there is. But in our area that hasn't dropped one in the last couple years, I won't say they're all special, but just no bad ones. So he drinks more Four Roses probably than anybody I know.
We're having a Brian battle because he's like OBSK. When did LBC do an OBSK pick?
Yeah.
I think we're gonna we'll lean on Abandoned Bourbon Brian on the Four Roses.
So really quick, a couple things that we're going to talk about.
This is good, by the way.
It's money. So I was talking to Cheech about this up at Pours in the Park, and I don't remember these dropping this year. And I thought we just weren't going to get in because there was a little bit of these dropped last year.
Oh, hold on, everybody. If you see Scary Clan, I don't know whose account she is on, but my wife has finally figured out that I have a bourbon channel. Everybody say hi to Scary Clan. That's my wife. What's up, baby?
Why is your wife's name on YouTube Scary Clan?
She might be using Rowan's account or something like.
That would make more sense that would be your son's YouTube account. Well, Michelle, welcome to what your husband does whenever he comes over to my house. We talk about bourbon. So, stream, try to do a video here or there.
And my son too.
Oh, it's Rowan.
No, it's both of them. I think
they're both on there.
Yeah, they're both on
there. So talking to Abandoned Bourbon, he said the bourbon woman pick or whatever, the OBSQ. So I haven't had that one. So I can't speak for that one. So there we go. There's at least one. Hi, whichever Rowan or Michelle it is. Let's see. What do we want to talk about though? Do we want to talk about, so a couple things first. We can either talk about Pours in the Park up in Michigan, just our quick kind of thoughts about that.
That's probably been the furthest thing back. That's probably worth talking about.
And then the Bourbon Festival this week and what we've heard, kind of thoughts from people. Because we didn't go. No. We kind of went to like the free stuff.
Yeah.
And then we have an announcement. We'll announce like in between that. Yeah. So and we got bottles to review, some that were sent to us. So hopefully Paul's in here. I should have told Paul to make sure he was in here for that. And then a BTAC sample from ADHD Whiskey, Matt. Whenever we actually talked to him up in Michigan, we kind of traded some samples, and he gave me a 2011 Thomas H. Handy. So we'll try. We'll kind of wrap up the night with that. So, what do you want to talk about first, though?
Yeah, I'm sure Silent Killer, though. I'm sure that we'll have a review of that Honey Barrel when we get our hands on it.
I mean, if Dave gets his hands on it, maybe
I'll probably get my hands on it because I at least usually try the distillery series.
Yeah.
Whether I like them or not, and we've talked about on the channel. If you've watched our stuff, you know that we've said it's been pretty disappointing in the last year and a half or so. But there's always hope. And anybody jumping on the Honey Barrel train, I'm going to at least try it because
Dude,
some are good.
Went down a deep dark path with the Honey.
Listen, by far, it's still.
You still haven't bought a Nulu one for $150, so you're not totally lost.
And the Starlight one is hard to beat. I mean, honestly, the Starlight one's been hard to beat. So, and I've missed it because it's been at his house for a month and a half now. So,
maybe a month.
Just about that. Well, they say that the Belle Meade J House is the best honey finish.
I mean, it's the best I've ever. Best honey finished one
I've never had it. So.
I haven't had. I haven't had any of the new stuff. The Nelson, I think, where they call it the Nelson County stuff or whatever.
Yeah,
it's been years since I had any of the Belle Meade stuff.
Hey, Bruzel.
Hey, buddy, what's going on? I need to message you I remind me to message him because I need to ask him a question because I want to do something for a video, but I want his blessing whenever I do it.
Oh,
So he already knows. If he thinks about it, he already knows what I'm talking about.
so what we're gonna Pours in the Park?
Yeah, let's just wrap it up. A lot of people have talked about it.
Yeah,
and everybody kind of knows. We'll just kind of give our thoughts about it. You want me to go first?
yeah, sure.
So had a great time. It was awesome. Got to meet so many people.
Bruzel, yes, we definitely want.
I still I'll send you oh, there you go. It was a great time. It was honestly,
Yeah.
So I never went to like a channel meetup kind of event before. I've always kind of thought about it, and we wanted to go to what was it? What's podcast do? The oh my gosh, the Whiskey Weekend. Wanted to do that this year, but my daughter was being born on that weekend, so
couldn't pull that one off.
Couldn't pull that one off. Wife said no. She actually didn't say no. She just said, just make a wise decision, I think. But anyways, so we go to this. We had such a great time. The hotel setup was awesome. Basically, the entire hotel was full of basically us, except for like 5 families.
Yeah.
And only one family yelled at us.
Yeah, only one yelled at us and said, "Hey, we're trying to sleep." And they're going to sleep at 3:00 in the morning, but they did.
Our bad.
Yeah.
So, but we were on our best behavior from there. So we went out that Friday night. We went to Valentine, and we were able to try a whole bunch of stuff. In Valentine Distillery, they're the ones who make the Mayor Pingery and stuff like that. It's a lot of odor source stuff from MGP. I think they now have some distillate of their own.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I think I think everything that we had was MGP though.
Yeah. Yeah. Everything that we had was older MGP, because I'll tell you right now, they had a bunch of 15-year-old stuff, some 13. What was that? The Blue Label, was that the 15-year-old Carolina?
I had 2 different 15 years and a 13-year.
I can't remember. I think it was 15. I think it was a 15-year Carolina.
Yeah, Carolina was 15-year. And then there was another Black Label or Blue Label 15-year. And then there was a 13-year.
They were all good. That Carolina was special. ISO for that Carolina. I don't even know what's going to cost me. Probably my oldest.
Yeah.
But that thing was amazing.
A good thought.
Oh my gosh. It was so good.
Yeah, it was good. So that was a good time. And
I got to meet a ton of awesome people there.
And then we went back to the hotel, hung out for another probably 5 hours. 4 or 5 hours.
Well, really quick. So talking at Valentine. So that was like a VIP meetup.
Yeah.
And we got to talk to, there's a bunch of channels up there. We got to talk to all of them. But really the cool thing was talking to random people.
Yeah.
Who there was people that traveled all throughout the country there.
Yeah. Arizona.
Yeah. We had, what's his name from Arizona? Keith.
Yeah.
Keith was from Arizona. Joe was from California. Some people from Alabama. Some people from, there was somebody from New York who I talked to. I can't remember. They were from everywhere. And most of them drove.
Yeah.
Even the guy from California, which I was shocked.
Even Bruzel came from, where do you come from? Texas?
No, Bruzel, aren't you from Alabama?
Alabama.
I think he's from Alabama. Yeah. He was one of them.
It was a 13-hour drive, whatever it was.
Yeah, it was some stupid long drive.
Shout out.
He was a champ for making it.
Yeah,
give him total credit.
For sure.
Got to meet a bunch of people. Got to meet Tommy up there. Got to meet Ogre while we were up there. Yeah. Ogre, who's my champion. I'll talk about that here in a minute. Alabama.
Yeah.
So got to do all of that and then like what he was saying. Then we went back. I was checking on the conference room because I was like, I'm just curious on the size. The conference room seemed a little small.
It did.
And then, they said, well, you have 2. And I was like, I don't know how we're going to fit everybody, but I guess we'll make it work. And as we're up there, we just ended up going and having pours in the conference room on Friday night.
Yeah.
And that was an awesome time.
And then out in the courtyard on Friday night.
Out in the courtyard, I'm going to yell that. But we just, I normally whenever I go to if I go to anybody's house, I always try to bring a box of stuff. And, I was just kind of rotating through some stuff that we had. And
do we really, Brian? Do we really?
Brian, we ain't doing a review of that. You already know.
I mean, we did do a review of Willet Pot Still. So, I mean, I guess we could.
We did. We already took one for the team. So, anyways, we go and we do that. Next day, we go to Pours in the Park. Pours in the Park was awesome. Got to meet more great people there. Got to network with some cool distilleries. Got to talk to people from Bardstown Bourbon Company.
Yep.
Who were super awesome.
Yep.
got talked to. Who's the people that do the Origin? Are they
Dragon's
Holland?
Milk?
Yeah,
New Holland.
New Holland.
Yeah,
they were super awesome. Just got to talk to.
Yeah.
It was just so. It was so chill, so relaxed. The food was awesome. That was super cool. And I kind of didn't think we were going to drink as much there, but they give you so many tickets. We actually didn't even use all of our tickets.
No,
because we knew we were going back to. We knew we were going back for the share poor thing, but I will say it makes me mad about the poor guesses part because, I put everything. I didn't get okay. So they did a poor guesses game like how they do for Bourbon Junkies, and I went back. I guessed all mine. I guessed like 100 proof wild turkey, and then I was thinking to myself, "That's dumb. Why I didn't put 101 wild turkey?"
Yeah,
and because I'm an idiot. So I go back to it, and I get another sample of it just because I was curious. I was like, "Man, I think that's a rye." I was like, "There ain't no way they just did wild turkey 101 rye." And I'm sitting there smelling, and I looked over at you and said something like, "I don't think it's that. It's too sweet." And I couldn't tell you last time I had it.
Yeah.
And then I was walking by and I saw Dan. I was like, "Is that what it is?" He's like, "Is it? Did you guess that?" I said, "No, I didn't guess that." He's like, "Guess we'll see." And that's what it was. I was so mad. I was literally so mad. But anyways, we do all of that. We have fun. We go back to the hotel, and the bottle share is crazy. Like, it's packed. It is just 100 people easy whenever. Well, no, I won't say 100. Probably starting out with 50. We fill up both rooms. And I've posted pictures. I don't know if I've posted pictures of anything about the weekend or not. If I haven't, I'll repost them.
I'm not sure.
There was bottles galore. There was some old ECBP picks. Or not picks. I'm sorry. Bottles. We had a President's Choice up there. We had a ton of like some great Russell's picks that were up there.
Yeah.
Smoke wagon stuff. Just all of these. There's a stag up there.
There's a little bit of everything that you could think of.
Yes, a little bit of everything.
And things you couldn't think of.
And things you didn't know.
Yeah.
And then what's going on, Bourbon Bath? Or Bubble Bath Bourbon. Sorry, I totally just got all that backwards. And then let's see. John, that mammoth was amazing and was he's talking about Four Roses pick from that.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite ones I've had. I don't own one, but I got tried. That was one of my favorite store picks ever. So anyway, so everything goes well there. I brought in my bag, I brought a Old Forester employee bottle to share with some people.
Yeah.
Who I wanted to share it with. We cracked it open that night. You'd actually never ever had it at that point.
No.
And so I brought that and got to let a lot of people try that who we just know from our channel, who we're friends with.
Hey, Bruce, that's a good video idea for you. A bourbon bath.
That is true. That would be a perfect.
How much BTAC does it take to fill a bath and take a bourbon bath?
That's true.
Let's do it.
So then one of my favorite highlights of the whole event was then we got an invite by Blake to go over to his suite to literally try basically every single Foregate and Oak Carter that had ever been made.
And yes, and some other things.
And some other cool things. Stuff that I don't even know if we can talk about that we're not going to talk about. But we got to try a whole bunch of stuff. And that day, the new Foregate Hazmat was released. And just so happens that was also there. And we got to try that as well. And that was super cool.
Yes.
And it was super cool hanging out with the guy. Everybody up there was super chill, super cool.
Yep.
Dan came over and his whole crew. Cheech, I think, stopped by while we were up there.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
It was just super cool. A bunch of guys we were hanging out. Chris was up there. It was just honestly a great time. And, those are like the event stuff is awesome, but hanging out with people, meeting people, networking, super cool.
Oh,
and I just appreciate it.
Yeah. It's so cool.
And then so we end up leaving there and then head back.
And thankful just for like our little neck of the woods that we occupy, just that people would come up and talk to us and talk to us.
Oh yeah, no,
cool.
I got to meet so many people.
Yeah,
and it was super cool. I told him, I said, you probably get more of this like at church than what I do since he works at church. I'm not used to that. It was kind of different, but it was also super cool because everybody was just fun and cool and just all having a good time.
Yeah.
Then we went back and there were still some people partying in the room. So I went and got the box, and then we came back, and and
Drank some more.
drank some more. I pulled out some more since there was like 15 to 20 of us. I brought out some more of the bigger bottles for people to try it and got to try some stuff. Just had a great time, man.
Hey, thanks, Chris, man. We appreciate it. You can see the evolution of Bourbon Kingdom if you're going through the old stuff. So,
Yeah, God bless you. We forgive us now. And so if I'm just recapping really quick, highlights are bottle share, Blake's suite going there.
Yeah, for sure.
The late nights at the hotel.
Yeah.
Bottle sharing with people. And then a personal favorite of mine is when Dave got pulled over and got a ticket.
I don't even think I've told my wife that yet. I think I've forgotten to tell her that.
She knows now.
She may not be watching anymore. We'll find out. She'll put a message down.
Yeah.
It was in Ohio, so it doesn't even count.
It was totally crap though, because we were getting passed by like 5 people, and then he hit and he tagged him. It's like, you're doing like 86. He's like, no, it wasn't.
I was like, literally,
we were going uphill at 70 because that's what cruise control was set at.
I'm like, whatever, man.
But
he was not nice. He saw that I only had one license plate on my car and just decided that it was me.
Yeah. But Dave kind of said something, and I was just like, be cool. We got open we obviously had not been drinking going up there, but we had open bottles of whiskey in the car. That so King true. Kentucky was sitting right up there in the obvious.
There were lots of open bottles in there, and he could have easily just said, all right.
Open container? Or worse, he just made us pour it out.
Oh, if he would have made
I would have been like, what's the option about him going to jail, not me? But what was funny though, he was like, so why are you all going up Michigan? I was like,
Pours in the Park.
For Pours in the Park. He's like, what's that? I said, a YouTube event. He just looked at us like, okay, like whatever. Losers.
He did. That probably was what he said.
So
but whatever. We had a good time.
Yeah. And there's a bunch of people too who were missing, who we're not bringing up. And I apologize now because there was a lot of you guys.
Yeah,
but
so many.
A lot of great people.
Yeah.
For sure. I pretty much did all the talking for that one. So
it was pretty much the same experience. I mean, we were basically in the same spot the entire time.
Yeah.
I mean, we were mingling amongst other people. Blake, you had 110. That's awesome, man. No, nobody cam footage, hopefully.
Brian, it took everything I had not just bust out laughing whenever I was like, I can't believe we're getting with this much booze in the car.
he did laugh, and he kept going, man, I'm sorry, I shouldn't be laughing. I'm like, it is what it is, man. I mean, what do you do? You can only laugh at things. That's really, honestly,
it's really the only thing we can do. All right, so let's go ahead and start cracking into the bottles that Paul gave us.
Oh yeah. All right. Well,
let's do the
since we've not had the 1792, let's go ahead and open that up. By the way, Paul, if you're not on here, sorry. We really appreciate you thinking of us, and honestly, on a real personal level. I mean, truthfully,
no, it's super cool.
Yeah.
So here, you want me to help you?
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna go ahead and preemptively do this one too.
So Paul, good night. Did you sit there and here we go? You're trying to do the wrong side. So Paul Bennett.
Yeah, I only had hitters in proximity to the person sitting to my right, in association with him. That was the only way I had a hitter.
For what?
Craig said, from what I heard, you guys shared some hitters, and I was like, you guys is.
Hey, now Craig, let me say this. I'll argue this all day long. One of the most underrated bottles that was brought to that entire bottle share was he brought was it like the 12-year-old or the 11-year-old?
It's pretty much a 12-year-old.
It's like right at a 12-year-old Russell's Reserve Silver Dollar pick that just came out from the Silver Dollar. It's one of the best picks I've had.
It is really good.
It's pretty phenomenal.
I saved it. That up here. I saved it just so I could bring it up there too. And since then I've been drinking on it.
Yeah. What's up, Joe? And Chris, when's it coming out? It came out last month.
Hey, Joe.
2 months ago.
What?
The 4-gate. When did we go to Pours in the Park? August, early August-ish.
Yes, early August.
So Chris, it came out the weekend of Pours in the Park.
Yes.
That's whenever that came out. So anyway, so Paul,
that's clean.
And that one should be clean for you too.
Yeah.
So Paul Bennett he knows that we are fans of certain things when it comes to bourbon. Obviously, you guys will figure out too. But he knows I like to collect the 1792 store picks. And he knows how much of an Elijah Craig barrel proof fan that Dave is. So he gave us a bottle and bond store pick.
And specifically of this.
And yes, more importantly, because this Elijah Craig barrel proof is the C920. To me, this is like the last like phenomenal, like I want to say, well, pretty dang good. I think I like the C19 more, if I remembered correctly. This is really close. But this beats everything that's came out last couple of years.
Yeah, that is true.
Without doubt.
Craig, I do love a Total Wine Russell's pick for sure. Just like I wish the prices were back to where they used to be, where you could get it for like $65 instead of $85.
Let me tell you about somebody in the chat, Horses and Bourbon. We met him up there in Pours in the Park because he had everybody sign his hat. It was awesome. It looked awesome.
Yes.
What's going on, my guy? And yeah, no, it was and it was a lot of fun talking to you, man. It was a great time. That bottle share, because that's where we were talking, and it was super cool. It was a great time.
Yeah,
great time.
Yeah.
So let's see.
Now, truthfully, these aren't normally my jam, the 1792s, but I've not really had one that I love.
This one actually, I'm getting a little bit of spice on this one. This is weird. Like weird in a good way, by the way. Like this is like funky.
Yeah. But I was so happy. We've been sitting on these for like 2 months since Paul sent them to us, just waiting for our next live stream. So I'll just tell you how long it's been since we did a live stream.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Horses and Bourbon. Yeah, it was just one of those things. Like, what was weird was, so I'd requested kind of be like put in the middle, and they put us in the very back corner.
The middle of the back corner. That's where he wanted to be.
They honestly,
that is true, Joe. The like button is free.
That is, Joe. Thank you so much. And it really does help the stream. Helps channel. Helps all that. It helps out everybody.
Yeah.
Honestly, whenever you do that.
Yeah.
Man, I like this. There's not as much banana as what you normally get on these.
Yeah. This is not the worst 1792 I've ever encountered.
A lot of vanilla, a lot of spice.
Yeah, I feel like what's off-putting to me with 1792 is I feel like the front end spice on it. I
normally don't get a lot of spice, but it's normally a sweetness to me I don't like. It's just not my jam to me. But I dig that.
Ooh, I can't wait for that one.
Yeah, Paul, that's good. I think so. Trevor's Scottsdale, Arizona.
Yeah, he's from Arizona.
Barrel 7790. If anybody was wanting to know, that's really good. Yeah, bubble bath. That was kind of how it was, man. You went walking in, and people would be like, "Dude, you gotta try this. You gotta try." Oh, something else I really love. Somebody brought a Discovery 4.
Hey, Joe, I caught 0 of those as well, man. I'm really sad about that too.
Joe, we'll talk about everything that dropped this weekend. It was nuts.
I picked the wrong week to go to Guatemala. That's all I'm saying.
By the way, I worked, so I missed. I pretty much missed everything too.
You missed a lot of stuff too.
I was able to snag one thing. I like that. You know what? I really do like this.
Craig, I've never had any of the Prideful Goat stuff.
You will.
I will.
He will. Okay, cool. I'll throw that over there. I love how it just doesn't matter if 1792 does it with you.
No, I mean, it's.
But this is.
I mean, it might as well.
This is definitely more your speed, more your jam.
It might as well be Willet Pot Still for me.
No, don't.
I'm just kidding.
Don't even.
All you 1792 fans, I'm just kidding.
What's our opinion about Blanton's? It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah,
it's. When people say it's bad, in my opinion, it's not bad. It's just
I usually get it for around $52, and if I pay $52 for it, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
It's good. It's a good gift to give to people. It's a $50 gift that I can give to people as well. So, which is always good. And my dad likes them, but my dad also, I mean, up until 6 months ago, was pretty much an exclusive Woodford guy. Not even double oaked or anything, like just your standard Woodford, which is fine. Just he didn't have too much of a.
Hey Brian, what did you sleep all night at Kroger's and get?
I don't even think I got. Oh, I did get a Blanton's too.
Yeah,
I think I got a Blanton's as well.
We all got a Blanton's that night.
You get a Blanton's and you get a Blanton's.
Yeah, except if Band of Bourbon's still in here. I think he got like an Old Fitz 14 because he was like number 1 or number 2 in that group. And then our mutual friend Jay, I think he also got an Old Fitz. That was such a bust. Oh my gosh, that was such a bust.
I mean, it was a good time.
Oh, it was actually a great time.
Yeah, it was a good time.
That was Q's like kind of like unofficial going away party because he was going to Germany.
Yeah,
for so many months after that. So I mean, we were drinking and sharing pours and
sleeping in the car.
Yeah,
all the good
stuff.
Met
Tyler up there.
Oh yeah, met Tyler for sure.
Oh yeah, you see, now this stuff is just amazing. Brian, I still have PTSD. Yeah, without
I went home and my wife was like, "What did you get?" And I was like, "I got a Blanton's." And she goes, "You stayed out all night for a Blanton's?" And she doesn't even know bourbon, and she's like, "I know that's not."
So to back up really quick, this Kroger used to do amazing drops where we were at in line, like we were thinking we would get
we were like 7 and 8, like maybe 10.
Around
you were
that.
like 7 or 8. I think I was like 10,
around there or something. Yeah, something like that. Whatever the numbers were, because we were looking at the list from last year and we're like, well, maybe we'll get like a CYPB or like a Weller single barrel at best.
Oh, Paul, what's up, dude?
Good
to see you here, man.
Hey, Paul, what's up, buddy? And yes, we actually are. We're talking about it right now, bud.
Thank you.
And so we had a King or two. The new Russell's 13 had just been dropped out there, and we knew that they had them in the store, supposedly.
Yeah. And we were hoping for so many different things.
And then you start seeing them just like, because I know guys last year who were like 60th and got like an E.H. Taylor single barrel pick.
Yeah.
Before. So we're like, whatever. We wait, and people are up there like looking in the door, like just seeing what they're like.
I see a
there's a lot of Weller Special Reserve, a lot of Eagle Rare, a lot of Blantons. And then they're set up like these two little small tables. And we're like, start seeing like a Michter's Barrel Strength Rye and like I think a Yellowstone LE.
Yeah.
Booker's.
Yeah.
And then the two Old Fitzes go out and they're like, I think that's everything. I'm like, no, it can't be. And it was.
They were saving the good stuff for later.
They were saving it for somebody.
Yeah. Oh, disappointing.
Yeah, this is
but
like
Paul, this 920, man.
This is the last like great one that they've done.
Here's to hoping the 22 is good. Somebody mentioned the 22 up top. I haven't tried it, but I have hopes for it.
That's so good.
Yep, so good.
Bubble Bath Total Lottery gives you nothing but Blantons here. Where are you from? Aren't you from Michigan? Am I right there, Bubble Bath, or am I mistaken? By the way, I also haven't had that 15-year. I've had the 6-year. I think that's pretty good, but I've never actually had the 15-year Prideful Goat. But the reason why I say that earlier is because I do have the Bourbon Junkies. You're from California? I had no clue. I thought you were like one of the Michigan guys. Gonna be honest with you. Awesome. I'm assuming you flew out there, right? You didn't drive.
It'd be cooler if you drove.
No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't at all.
You might have gotten a ticket. You might have gotten a ticket too if you drove that far.
Joe, he drove from California all the way out there, and then I think he drove down to like Alabama, and then he drove back home, which is crazy.
Yeah, McWhiskey, we actually both thought the 2022 the B522 was good.
Oh, I think it's
Yeah.
the best bee that they've ever done.
Yeah, that's what
I've
I
never
think
been
we
a
were
big
both in
fan
agreement of that.
of the bee batches. I think it's the best one they've ever done, without question. You know what, Blake? You're right. Couldn't tell it all. Could not tell it all in that pasty whiteness going on. But yeah, no, Independent Joe, he was a crazy guy for making that drive. But you know what? Good for him. And that's what I told him. I said, dude, like, you know, if you just need to talk while you're on the road, just give me a call.
Yeah.
Because I can't imagine that drive.
Paul,
this thing is incredible.
Man, just so thankful.
Man, what was I going to say? Oh, wait, you already answered McWhiskey. All right, so really quick, let's talk about our announcement.
It's so funny how people are with the Elijah Craigs. Some people, I mean, just love the bees way more than anything else. And then there's, you know, it's just crazy how that is. So,
but you know what though, I kind of like that. Like in the sense of like, because they're all three different, right?
Yes.
Like, can we all agree they're all three different?
Yeah.
But so there are also a ton of them. Like,
yes. Yeah.
They're huge
for
batches.
An allocated bourbon. This is like one of the easiest to get your hands on.
Yes, and and for me, I'll just say this: the reason why, like last year, they were disappointing to me is because they are such a high standard.
Yes,
but they're also available.
Yeah,
like locally, like realistically, you can get enough of these if you really like a certain batch, and that can be a daily drinker for you for almost a year.
Yes,
if you really work.
Yeah, if you really want it. Yes,
between the Evan Williams experience, between Heaven Hill, between like Kroger and Liquor Barn, Total Wine, Cox's, all of them.
I totally agree with
you
that.
You could really work on that.
Elijah Craig barrel proof for the win. And this one, 132.8 proof. Like this is just money.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Dave's probably going to put a nipple on that and just suck that down.
Yeah, this is going home with me. I'll just tell you that.
No doubt.
This can stay here.
All right, that's fine. I'll drink it all. I think it's great.
Yeah.
So going back to our announcement. So we've got. It's not that big.
All right.
So, a couple things that we're going to do. One of them will be there in about a month. So, we're going to start doing 3 videos a week.
Yes. Yeah.
Which Dave is so excited for since he does editing.
Yeah.
So, we've decided we're going to move the reviews from Tuesday to Monday because that's what every other channel does. And I can't tell you, and I love Jason to death from Mash and Drum. Like, he's such a nice guy, and he's super cool. He will put out a review of the bottle we're going to do like the next day. It seems like a lot of times, and I'm just like, oh, he just beat us.
Yeah.
So that way, we'll move the reviews to Monday, and then we're going to keep the Tuesday and Thursday videos. Probably the Tuesday will be random ones, and then like the Thursday will be between like a whiskey grab or a bourbon battle. Or just some other kind of like random stuff. Maybe we'll get more consistent with whatever type of video release we're going to do, but we're going to start doing that.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is here shortly, and we'll put it out there to everybody. We'll start up an Instagram because you all keep telling us to do the same thing with Instagram.
Yeah.
And I fought doing an Instagram, and now it's just, we just need to do it.
Yeah.
So we're just going to do it.
Yeah.
And then the last thing, because and we get messages about this all the time about a Patreon, and we're gonna do it, just not yet.
We're close.
I appreciate,
we're close, but we're trying to perfect, not perfect. We're trying to make sure
it's worth it.
What we're doing is worth it, and also trying to make sure, like, we want it to be, worth it for you guys. Like, as far as what's going to be on there and stuff.
Okay, so here's the thing about TikTok. I am not against TikTok, but that's just a different world. Doing shorts, compared to Cheech. Actually, talking to Cheech here a second ago. I meant to tell you this the other night, and I totally forgot. Cheers, Cheech, by the way. You were asking about the Bottle and Bond from Chattanooga Whiskey. This is what we were drinking on earlier. It was the spring edition. It's not. We haven't seen the summer, so I forgot to answer that on.
Yeah,
I hopped on his live stream a little bit the other night. So, yes, thank you, Cheech. But yeah, so going back to the Patreon thing, yes, we will do one, but 2 things. I am not as concerned about doing one until we can do it right, and I want to make it worth the you know
joining
well,
like
it's an investment whenever you join somebody's Patreon account.
yes,
And which is awesome and super cool and appreciative. And every channel that's in this chat or anywhere else, those are used predominantly. Like what was crazy was everybody pretty much does what we do, where anything we make off either YouTube or if we had a Patreon, it just all goes back into the channel.
yes,
Like nobody outside of a handful of channels who are really making that higher tier. We're kind of on the same boat where we're just like reinvesting and trying to do better for you guys, the guys who and gals who watch us and support us.
Well, Cheech, we're still just waiting for the summer one. So
yeah, no kidding, right? Actually, I want the founders is what I want, and I know we ain't getting that, but I still want it.
Yeah,
so
probably not,
because he has it and it's good. So that will be a thing, and whenever we do, it'll be fun. It'll be worth your all's while, we promise, or at least for what we feel. And then, more importantly, once we get that thing up and rolling, you guys will have a lot of say in that. People who subscribe to that and are part of that community and stuff like that, you all will have a lot more say in that. We'll do some fun stuff in there. And then, like, hopefully eventually start doing barrel picks, which is like a whole nother animal. But
yeah, as far as the bookers goes, Mick Whiskey, I think Craig is kind of giving you. It was good for what bookers generally is, and so yeah, that one probably was the best in a while for us that we've reviewed.
Yes. So Mick Whiskey, I do agree in the sense of. I think the last Booker, because I went back and revisited it the other night, and I think it is. I do think it is similar to some older batches that I've had that I did enjoy.
Yeah.
There's still a price point issue with that.
Yes,
though.
there's always to me that's like that is the issue.
And
I wish they would just do away with the box, put the bottle out,
yeah,
charge $65 for it, and you're not going to feel bad about about it because at that point,
pour me a little more of that.
The Elijah Craig.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just one nip.
One nip. Hold on.
And then
nip. There you go.
Cheech. Yeah. So, well, I found your bottle on the table. That's where I tried it. Because Cheech also did something to give him total credit for. And honestly, every single person who's up there, if you had an Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, whatever, the bottle he bought, he also put a sticker on his bottle for his channel and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Smart.
Yeah.
One of the smartest moves I saw all
Cheech.
weekend. I'm telling you, it's one of the, I told him, I said, next year, I said, I'm going to bring whatever bottle we bring to whatever.
We have some Bourbon Kingdom stickers.
We do. I said, I'm going to put a sticker on that bottle and then bam, so that way people know. Mm-hmm. Good, smart. Just cool. It's easy.
Yeah. Well, just hopefully Dan and Sean do that again because that was,
I think they are.
Yeah, that was definitely worth the time to be
I
up
think
there.
they totally are. So that was kind of the
Mick Whiskey. Well, there are some Booker's apologists out there who buy every single one of them. Hey, if that's you, man.
Look, if that's your jam, that's your jam.
For sure.
There are certain things that we all know that are too much money in whiskey. Most allocations too much money in whiskey.
Yes,
but we still buy it anyways because we want it. So let's see. Talk about that. I guess the next thing we need to talk about is the Kentucky Bourbon Festival and our thoughts on that and some early returns maybe that we've heard on some of it, or at least who I've talked to.
Yeah. So we, who I've talked to, I was up there for the free part. They had like some free concerts and stuff like that. Just super close to it. I mean, truthfully, I ran into a couple people who were like, "Hey, if you want my wristband, you can have it. You can go over there." I didn't take the wristband because they had paid good money for their wristband, probably. But I did have a conversation with a couple of guys who we met up at Pours in the Park. Happened to be down here for
our guys,
Jim and Rob.
Yeah.
If you're on here,
love those guys.
Yep, they're good dudes.
Yep.
And I just asked them. I saw them yesterday, Sunday. They happened to come to my church on Sunday because they're both church guys too. So they came.
We actually know one of their pastors.
Yeah,
Actually, good friends with one of their
just
crazy world.
Yeah, just a small world.
Good evening, William.
But they were down here, and so they said, "Hey, since we're down here, we're going to come to your church." I was like, "Awesome!" So I talked with them for like 25, 30 minutes after service, and I was like, "So how was the Bourbon Festival?" And they go, "Truthfully, it was fine, but I don't think we'll pay to do it again." They just said, I don't think it was worth the money to be there and do like what you paid wasn't worth what you got.
I think it was honestly more valuable to come down here for the festival and just hunt bourbon.
Yeah, because they did have a good hunting.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they actually did get some. They actually got some special bottles in the Bourbon Festival. Did you see the Heaven Hill Select that they got? Select stock?
Yes, I saw the picture of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know all of the bottles that they were selling in there. I haven't heard the totals, but let me grab this one up here. There is one of them here. So they were selling this Heaven Hill Select stock. It's basically a toasted barrel proof. It's finished. It's
123. It's 123. It's on the side here.
Oh, yeah. 123 proof. And it's basically a toasted barrel proof Elijah Craig for the most part.
Yeah.
I love this thing.
Yeah.
This thing, I don't know why they don't do that as like a specialty kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or whatever else. But man, it is so good. And they were selling those. I think they were like $80 down there at the festival.
But one of those Glencairns over there.
Of course.
I mean, if you're going to put it out, I haven't really had bourbon in a week and a half. The Blind Pig did a pick, and I had a pour of that. They did a Wilderness Trail pick.
Oh, during the festival?
Yeah.
Gotcha. So here's basically what I've heard. Festival was fine. And this is probably coming from about 5 or 6 people outside of the guys who we were just talking about.
Yeah.
Some locals, some people from out of town. If you were local, it was fine.
Yeah.
Probably wouldn't pay to do it again. Some bottles that were, one of these were good to get down there. I forget what else they got. They got some other picks that they said was really good.
Man, that is smooth as a baby's butt right there, man. That gets you in trouble right there.
I know. It's good. It's really good.
Get you in trouble.
I honestly, well, I won't say, but I'm gonna send a sample to somebody, see what they think.
Yeah.
But it was everybody who I've talked to has said the festival was like okay. The bourbon hunting in Kentucky was awesome.
Yes.
So talking
if
about
any of you were here and are in this channel, and just tell me if you got if you got the toasted sour mash. Just please tell me.
Well, let's start with kind of.
I want to live variously through you. I'm so sad.
Let's talk a little bit of just like let's start around Barstown, then spread out.
Yeah, Craig. No one. Yes, that's I could see that.
Yeah. So
just take out a home equity loan, man.
We were talking about Four Roses earlier. I don't know how many picks came out at Four Roses this weekend between the bottling plant and the distillery. 10, maybe.
I feel like they
were dropping 2 to 3 a day at each distillery.
I feel like they did it right. Like, listen, if you want to get your product out there in the best possible way, and have people really hype about who you are, they have been killing it over the last 2 years in pushing their name out there and going, listen, hey, don't forget about Four Roses. Please don't forget about Four Roses.
No, it was awesome.
Yeah.
It was super awesome.
Between the 20-year release for the new thing, the 16-year, the 11-year tier 6 that came out. I mean, gosh, it's just so much. It
was awesome. And then and they had some tier 6s out there. They had some tier 3s, tier 4s that were out there. They did an awesome job. Willet dropped their 8-year weeded bourbon.
Yeah.
That new, it's like all black bottle with a purple.
It looks kind of like a wine bottle.
Yeah. I think it probably is.
Yeah.
I think that was actually there for like 2 days. I think it was there on maybe Saturday and Sunday or Friday and Saturday. I can't remember.
I feel like you sent me a message on Saturday morning and said, hey, Willet dropped this yesterday. And they said,
Oh yeah, to go see because you're fairly close. Yeah.
Yeah.
See if you could
Yeah.
confirm.
I live
if
like
they had
20, I live 20 minutes in Heaven Hill and
Yep.
and Willett and
And then Heaven Hill dropped a bunch of like basic stuff. I think they dropped like a bunch of Elijah Craig barrel proofs and toasteds, grenades, McKenna, stuff like that. I don't think any big hitter bottles. Oh, maybe some Elijah Craig 18.
So Blake, were you at the Bourbon Festival? I'm assuming you were since you just listed off like 5.
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, Blake, that's actually a really great point. So Justin's House of Bourbon, they had a tent there where I know they had a bunch of those kind of picks available.
Yeah, that's good, man.
Because they do picks like yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah,
because they do picks like that basically every year. It's normally pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Then you had, I think Kroger had some picks. Now those were far and few in between. They're hard to get. Liquor Barn put out like a crate of Weller 12 this weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, some stores had 4 to 6 cases of Weller 12 a piece. A couple stores I don't think got them, but or they held them back for people. But for the most part, they were all out there, and it was nuts because that was on Sunday. And I mean, I know guys who were hitting.
Hey, my Paul, my Liquor Barn Paul, was it crazy at your store? If you're watching
Paul
this, I don't know if he is or not. Paul, if you're on here, tell us. Like, was it crazy at your store? I'm sure it was.
I kept trying to go out there to see Paul this weekend. I could never make it out because of work. But so we had, what's going on, Toby? My favorite Booker's batch. I mean, can I cheat and just say Booker's rye? That's what. I mean, that would just be the truth on that one.
Well, my favorite Booker's batch is Elijah Craig barrel proof.
So he hasn't had any of the really special ones.
No, I have not. I mean, I'd be willing to try anything special.
And then let's just talk about some general release stuff that came out. The new Four Roses LE came out this week.
Yeah.
Which I was super lucky.
You were.
And hit that in the
lottery. I was not.
What?
I had 2 tries and both tries.
Yeah, I hit in the middle moments. I will tell you guys a really quick funny story about that. Went down to Four Roses. And at first they were like, yeah, you're not in the system. I'm like, what do you mean I'm not in the system? Like, well, we don't have you showing that you're getting a bottle. And I'm like, we're going to change really quick because I am getting one of these bottles.
I'm getting that
yeah,
bottle.
I'm getting that bottle. And because I have the email, it says I won. Yeah. My name's on there. And I won. This? Yeah. And I won.
You see this?
Four Roses is super cool. They're like, we'll figure it out. Here's your bottle. We appreciate you guys. Blah, blah, blah. They were super cool.
Again, another way that Four Roses is trying to be about the people.
Just super cool and awesome.
People. Yeah.
Yeah. So going back to the new Four Roses released this past week, Birthday Bourbon was dropping at different kind of, I want to say more sketchy stores.
Did you see on our
yeah, I know some guy
somebody was like sketchy store, you mean this store that you feel like you might get shot at?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then like some of the bigger stores like Kroger and stuff like that. So you pretty much probably had to have some kind of relationship with somebody somewhere to be able to get a birthday bourbon.
Yes.
Unless you were Brian, if he's still in here, there was a Meyer somewhere in Louisville that had it and put it out. Somebody just randomly walking. So let's see Knob Creek 18 year. That also dropped this weekend. That was exciting. I was kind of hoping Jim Beam had it, but every time I called him, they didn't have it.
I'm going to be interested because, that's that Knob Creek 18 is on the that's the Evan Williams. Which one was it? The Evan Williams 18 here is on the list of do not hunt for. What not worth hunting for? Was it the Evan Williams? Elijah Craig.
I had no clue what he was talking about.
Hey, we get there.
Let's see. Had a chance to get a lumberyard for $107 this weekend. I passed. $107. I mean, you see, that's the problem. Like, okay, first off, I think lumberyard's good.
Is this the newest one?
No, that was like COVID release.
Oh yeah, so this is older.
No, but I think they're really good. Some people, I know this isn't some people's jam, but it's kind of one of mine.
Hey, listen, I'm working on it. Shelby, I am working on. He's not brought any good real. I mean, I did just drink some of this, so.
Shelby, why? Why provoke him?
I mean, that barrel proof. He says that I've drank 3/4 of. I mean, I
he's
could pull
drank
that
like
off the shelf.
95% of it.
You know what?
I had to tell him he couldn't drink anymore because we have, in case we get this year's, we want to be able to compare it.
So watch this. I'm gonna grab it
so that way he can see how much is actually not in there.
Toby, win in Rome. Isn't that what they say? Win in Rome.
The newest select stock was that, Heaven Hill select stock was the.
I mean, somebody's drank a lot of this. I don't know who it is.
It's you. I'm telling you.
I don't know who it is.
It's pretty much you. I've taken it like 2 places. I have a clean lid.
That's all right. I'll just clean this one.
But what was I saying? We're talking. Oh, the newest Heaven Hill select stock. That was at the You Do Bourbon Experience down there at Heaven Hill. I think it's really good. It's not like I have one and I'm happy I have one, but it's not my all-time favorite one I've ever gotten from them.
Shelby, thank you for the encouragement.
Thanks, Shelby. Yeah, that Toby, let me say this. It's a cool bottle. It is it's one of those, like, they're not gonna be around. If you really like it, yeah, get it. But it's also like, if you miss, it's fine. Like, honestly. Now this
210.
That bottle
Cheers.
here, the Heaven Hill 27 year. Next to the Heaven Hill 27 year, the You Do Bourbon Experience, which was basically like the William Heavenly Hill bottle.
Listen,
one was special.
If you have not had that barrel proof, you're missing out, because that is so good.
Oh yeah, whatever, McWhiskey. I see exactly what he's doing over there. So, anyways, going back to what dropped this past weekend. So, going to his Michter's in Louisville. Nobody knew. Nobody knew like what was going to drop around this weekend, but they dropped that toasted sour mash. There were 75 people in line. They had 25 bundles for it. So
I probably wouldn't have gotten one either. Anyway, it went, but
no,
I'm so disappointed.
Yeah,
I can't believe they didn't have more than that. What did they make you buy with it?
I can't remember.
American whiskey or something like that with it?
I don't know. Somebody was saying like there was like 3 bottles you had to buy, and maybe like one of them was a Shanks and one was a barrel strength rye, which isn't terrible.
So that was like a $400 package.
No, I think it was like $300.
Oh. So, yeah, because the sour mash was only supposed to be like around 100 or something like that.
Yeah, it actually wasn't like a terrible bundle, but don't hold me to that.
But still, Michter's,
and
if
then,
you all watching this, like, just sell a bottle, man. Just sell a bottle.
Hey, look, stuff every single day, basically.
They do.
That they're open. So more power to them. Look, they just put it as a package because they know that people are in there every single day looking for stuff to make money off of. So they're going to make money off those people.
Hey, 210, I'm sipping on a little barrel proof on this one right now. So cheers.
Yeah, I'm drinking on Elijah Craig C920 from our guy, Paul. It was so awesome. Thank you, Paul.
No telling.
We'll get there, Blake.
I might get crazy and pull the King of Kentucky off the shelf. He might tackle me if I did that.
No, we have no. It's not because of that. We got to do videos after this.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So, and then O'Carter dropped a single barrel this weekend, and that sold out a lot quicker.
Hey, listen, this is a new one. System Trend. Thank you. Hey, listen, wherever you got to listen, man, you got to listen. Super stoked.
Just happy you're here. Not doing it live. But yeah.
Oh, Craig, listen, that John J. Bowman, man.
Let's see. Oh, yeah. And then Peerless, they released some of their double oak. And then Buffalo Trace was packed. They had Blanton's and E.H. Taylor and Eagle Rare and all that stuff this weekend. Woodford dropped their honey, new Master Distiller honey barrel.
Yep.
I think that's it. It's a lot.
Blake, that's an easy one to show up for, too.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt. Well, Blake, that was one of the things he texted me about. He's like, hey, are you going? I'm like, man, I got to work. So, but and Evan Williams 23-year dropped at the Evan Williams Experience.
Yeah.
So here's my whole thing with this. I think if you came into town and you were hunting bourbon, I think you probably did well. You
Yeah.
probably didn't get everything,
Yeah.
but you could have went to Four Roses,
Yeah.
Willett. If you were mobile, had the ability to be mobile, I think you probably did really well and you're probably really happy. I think if you just stayed in Bardstown, though, for the Bourbon Festival, I don't think you had as good a time.
Yeah. You probably were disappointed.
If I'm being honest.
Hey,
Blake, go ahead.
Toby, I was the liquor barn I go to all the time. They on their bar they had a Middle West. It was it was finished in a sherry cask. It's $125 bourbon, and wasn't sure whether it was worth that or not. And so a bunch of people asked about it, and so he put it on the bar. I'm glad he put it on the bar. I don't know that it was worth it.
No.
I would have paid $65 for it probably. But I mean, it was good. And so because I'd never had anything from Middle West. So good to see somebody else drinking on some Middle West.
I can't. So that's the only thing I've ever had from Middle West.
Yeah.
And I know there's a couple channels out there that are really big fans of it. That's my first experience with it. And I don't think it's worth it, but I haven't had. There's a lot of people who've told me it's good stuff that I trust their palate with.
Yes.
So I'm open to definitely trying more. Just that one pick that I.
At the end of the day, you gotta you trust the palate of people is important. For sure.
No doubt. So Blake asked a question. Did you guys see the aerial view of the crowd at Bourbon and Beyond on Saturday? Pearl Jam concert,
Saturday and Sunday both. It was nuts.
Yeah. So that was also another big thing. So they also do picks. So, a lot of these, Bourbon and Beyond, Kroger will have like Four Roses pick and the Jack Daniel's barrel proof pick, which I grabbed one of those. I think I had an Old Forester pick too. There's a bunch of picks. This weekend was just packed with people everywhere. Like one of the local stores / bars I go to, they had like on Sunday, they did over 10 grand worth of business. Yeah. And they never do 10 grand worth of business on Sunday. That's how crazy they were.
Here's what I think about, like, this is Bourbon Heritage Month. We are in the home of bourbon. I thought that they could have done a little bit better planning and done Bourbon and Beyond on a different weekend to stretch out the bourbon experience for the month, for Bourbon Heritage Month, instead of being on top of one another and kind of stealing each other's. Not that they stole each other's. I mean, if you saw the crowds at Bourbon and Beyond, they
did good there.
Yeah, there were a bajillion people there, but being able to stretch it out the entire month would have, I think, been better for our state. And I think better for Bourbon Heritage Month to be able to kind of do that.
Blake, don't tell my wife. Had to get those points for end of the year rewards.
Hey, listen, Blake, there's no joke there.
Actually, Blake, the store I'm talking about is the same store I ran into you in. So down there at Nulu.
Again, that's his stove.
I mean, look, I'll tell you guys, we keep talking about doing a video about it, about whenever you come to Kentucky, doing the Bourbon Trail and stuff like that. Yeah. I am a local. You guys, honestly, you guys know more about what I have than most, just because of the channel and we talk about what we have and stuff like that. And there's really only one bar I'll go to and drink / like.
There's two that I will. 3. I will go to Nulu, but I don't go to Nulu a lot because it's so far away from me.
Yeah, it's true. Well, I guess there's really 4 now.
And so I spend a lot of time at Liquor Barn in Outer Loop.
That's another one I would go to.
I love the company. There's some regulars there that on Fridays we sit and we chill and talk for an hour or two, just about whatever. And it's a good place to go. But when you come into Louisville, if you're like doing Bourbon Trail stuff, you should always stay in Louisville. Always stay in Louisville because Louisville has great bars that you can go to and be a part of and find good pours for like really good pours for good quality. I mean, for decent money. And it's just a good home base to be able to do that. And Nulu is like one of the best places to go.
Yeah. Mike, I think, were you there with somebody? If I remember correctly, Mike, remind me again. Yeah, Blake. Well, Blake's like the number one guy down there at Justin's House of Bourbon, so he's legendary down there. But yes, Justin's House of Bourbon is another really good spot to go to. It's a different experience, and I think sometimes people are like, oh, they have some of their stuff's really high. Well, yeah, some of their stuff is really high because they buy from private collections, but
Yeah.
it is also a great spot as well.
And they are there for the people who aren't from Louisville.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's okay, Mike. Now I remember. Yeah, it's good meeting you, man. Let's see. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. Going back to the people who I've talked to who stayed in Louisville did better than anybody else who stayed anywhere else.
Yes.
That's just the truth of the matter.
Yeah.
And I always say, even though I'm gonna knock on them here for a minute, I always say the argument is stay as close to Old Forester as you can. So because you have Old Forester, you have Michter's, those two, Michter's will drop almost every day. Old Forester, whenever they normally drop something big.
Yeah.
So if you stay in the Nulu area, which they have a bunch of Airbnbs down there, that's kind of like a really nice spot. They have bars down there that are really nice restaurants. Obviously, one of my go-to spots is down there. So I always think that's always better staying in
Mike,
Louisville.
I'd love to meet you, man. Definitely reach out.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Then to go to Bardstown itself and say, because everybody talks about, Bardstown being home bourbon and everything.
Yeah.
I get all of that. But
there are a lot of distilleries down there, but
a ton. But I still think because anything
they only stay open so long.
Well, it's not only that, but so I live 7 minutes away from Old Forest. I've said this 1,000 times, but I can drive to both the Four Roses Distillery, Wild Turkey, Bardstown Bourbon Company, Willett, and I can make all of those from where I'm at.
Yeah,
you can't drive to Old Forester, and you can't drive to Michter.
No, not unless
they drop 400 bottles.
Yeah, unless
realistically,
it's just not going to happen.
Home, if you're at home, and it's just because of the amount of people,
right,
your location, stuff like that. But any of those other distilleries, you can score at. But it's different. But people also don't know that, and I think. I think the liquor barns and the Total Wine situation here in Louisville, they drop more randomly as well. So I think I just think it overall kind of helps.
Rocky, I love a good Manhattan and I love a good old fashioned. Those are two bourbon cocktails that are just, to me, good. If you want anything with coffee, I think if you put bourbon cream in any of your coffees, you will be very, very happy that you did.
Yeah. So, Rocky, if I had to make a cocktail with any kind of whiskey, it would probably be like a cup of something I put in the whiskey and then like a half an ice cube. That's probably it.
That's your cocktail?
I just don't drink cocktails.
Yeah. I'll drink them if I'm out and if I know that they're like, there are certain places around Louisville that make really crappy old fashions. And then there are some places that make fantastic. If you're in the Louisville area and you're visiting and you want to eat at a really good restaurant, Lemieux Steakhouse is fantastic, and they make a killer smoked old fashioned that I would put up against anybody's old fashioned anywhere. My cousin who lives in Tampa, he's not watching this channel, but he's the only one that rivals in a smoked old fashioned. Shout out to you, Jeremy, if you're watching. You could have poured the rest of mine. Matt, by the way, thank you, bud.
Yeah, Matt from ADHD Whiskey. This is the sample that he gave me.
Craig, we don't know who you're talking about when you say Ross and Squibb. I don't know who you're talking about. What do you mean by Ross and Squibb?
One of those squibbers.
I'm not sure what you're saying.
No, so they don't have a gift shop. I don't know why they don't do a gift shop for their own stuff or whatever. Like Bardstown, so they have their gift shop and the stuff that they make for other people.
Yes,
they put it in their gift shop.
Yeah.
I don't know why the Squibb. Why they don't.
Who's the Squibb again?
Yeah.
I'm not sure who you're talking about.
So
now, hey, listen, Toby, I would agree with you that Buffalo Trace, their cream is really, really good. I have a caramel cream from, I feel like I'm a Smith Bowman, fanboy,
mm-hmm.
but their caramel bourbon cream is the business. Like, it is so good. And I don't know if I don't think you can get it anywhere but in Virginia. So if you're not in Virginia, sorry, I bought a bottle of it for my wife, and I've drank probably most of it, because because I can, and she doesn't like bourbon. She likes bourbon cream, but
Yeah.
I think she's forgotten it that it's there. So I've enjoyed it quite a bit myself.
Man, this is incredible nose. Anyways, I think I was saying this. I just want to make sure. So I gave him a bunch of samples.
Ooh.
And then just as a thank you, he gave us this. So I've been waiting to sample this for a long time. Blake, really quick, you were talking about John O's having that bottle. So the guys who I run around with, we all saw
the law offices.
We
Ross's
saw it.
Squid.
Oh, I'm going up a little bit. We saw that they had the 14-year foundation, and you were 3 hours away. Yeah. So what's crazy about John O's is like if you sometimes can catch it on the right day, I can make it to John O's from my house. It's harder now than what it used to.
Yeah.
Like whenever they would get Stag back in the day, I used to be able to go down there and get it, but I can't. Most of the time I can't make that now. But I think it sat for a hot minute. You know, it sat for a good chunk of the day.
Yeah.
I think it sold. I don't know. I've heard mixed things. So I don't know which. I was told by 2 different employees it sold pretty quick, and then the other one said no, it was around here for a while. So I don't know.
Hey, Toby, like I said, I did not get that from Kentucky. I got that caramel bourbon cream from the distillery in Fredericksburg, Virginia. So we were up there visiting friends who no longer live in Virginia. They suck. No, just kidding. I'm glad they're home, but I'm really disappointed that we won't have a place to go stay.
Ooh, that's spice.
So
Tyler, if you're in here, you don't suck. We're just disappointed.
Yeah, we're disappointed in you.
We're just disappointed.
We're not mad.
We
We're
do
just
love that you're
disappointed.
home, even though I still haven't seen you guys yet. I know my wife's went over and seen him, but I haven't seen
I know
him
my wife has too. I was when I was in Guatemala, she went over and saw him.
Was that when Randa went too? It's like during the day, maybe.
Yeah.
Also,
she went in the evening. I think.
The other 2 bourbon creams I've heard that are supposed to be really good, 1792s.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've heard.
So they made a good product.
Stop. I've heard good things about that, and then I've actually been told by a lot of people that Jim Beam's really good.
Oh, really?
Would have never thought it. So
no, I wouldn't have.
Boone County. Now I'm a big Boone County fan, Craig.
Oh, listen,
I'm all about my Boone County now.
Boone County. Woo.
I need
some hitters in
I
Boone
need
County.
to call them. I just hate that drive now. I hate that drive for a lot of reasons, but I want to go up there and get some more single barrel picks.
Ooh, that's got a spicy kick to it.
I like it,
but there's a sweetness right on that spicy kick that I like.
You have that Buffalo Trace kind of like sweetness,
to
it, that age part of it, or it's not even really honestly that old.
What year is this?
This is 2011, I think.
2000.
Gosh, this thing's sorry to read. I think it's 2011, 128.
Matt, I don't know if you're still in here, but if you are, you can tell us what that sample is.
Blake, the hard truth is the truth, man. I'm telling you right now, that's one of the. So that's a new bottle to me. I don't even know if it's a new bottle to everybody else. It's a new bottle to me. It's one of my favorite new bottles all year.
Yeah.
That sour mash rye is just, it's so good. It's incredible.
I mean, as a rye, it is one of them. And if there's a best of the worst, that's at the top of the best of the worst.
Stop it. But I do. Okay. So to kind of wrap up the Kentucky Bourbon Festival, I have an opinion now. Instead of, oh, wait, 1 second. Somebody said something. And actually, I want to go back to it because they were right. And I want to give them credit for it. Where was it? Oh, John. John said something about been driving, so I'm behind, but Bourbon Beyond is just a gimmick name, honestly, louder than life started, and emphasize on whiskey and bourbon as well. He's totally 1,000% correct. So
yeah,
they're both big music festivals.
And Louder Than Life is in what, October sometime?
That was like next weekend.
Is it next weekend?
I thought it was coming up like right around the corner. I'm not going to either one.
John, just let us know. We had our 5-year birthday party yesterday for our church,
Mhm.
being 5 years old, and some people left early. They were going to Bourbon Beyond because Stapleton was
Oh, yeah.
headlining.
John was
John,
saying it was
this weekend.
Yeah, that's what I
So,
thought.
you know,
I thought
what
they were back
what
to back
perfect
weekends.
yeah, what perfect timing.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I will say overall, it's always good for the city, just not only money and stuff like
Oh,
that,
yeah.
but more good bourbon comes out. So, the one I was talking about Old Forest, I get so sidetracked. Obviously, I'm just a little bit everywhere.
I've been a little speedy on the drinks tonight. So
I said all these distilleries that released, right? Did you notice the one I didn't say put anything out this weekend?
Faux.
I love them to death, but man, I just feel like I just feel like that's just another missed opportunity if I'm being
Blake, why didn't you send me a text?
Because Blake and I talk. We're cool like that. Blake, I did not know this. Okay, cool. Is it a bundle or is it where is it a single? Because sometimes I know they'll bundle stuff. But yeah, so
Blake, just text 911. I'll answer. I promise.
They I just wish Old Forester would have done something because people were down there lined up every day. And I
Old Forester, we love you. We love your products. Please just cater to your customer. We love you.
Even just like the out of towners, because there's a lot of out of towners here.
That's
and
what I'm saying. You had a huge opportunity to
good Blake. That's good.
I
just wish that they would have been able to
opportunity, get one. Man. Opportunity to let people love you unconditionally.
Mm-hmm. So now, with all that being said, with the releases, so if you want to come in town and you want to hunt bourbon, great opportunity.
Yeah.
I think for an experience though, and there's a bunch of you guys in chat, so please give me your opinions on it. I think going to something like Pours in the Park, like with Bourbon Junkies, is better.
Well, I mean, listen, you're not going to get a better opportunity to try 150 bottles sitting open to just anybody trying.
Just like a fun experience, right? Like,
that was a blast.
I haven't done Whiskey Weekend.
For sure, it was a blast.
I haven't done Whiskey Weekend or anything, but I have heard nothing but great things from that.
Yeah.
Nothing but great things.
I'm sure we'll try to do that next year.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
I would like to be able to go to a couple of these and stuff like that. I think Jason's talking about doing one. You
can drive this time, though.
No, as long as we're not driving through Ohio. I think Jason's talking about doing one up in Baltimore, doing it at Sagamore, which would be freaking awesome. I'm in. Like, he said Sagamore, and I'm like, I'm going. I think
Sagamore,
Cheech said something about doing one. I'd love to go to Cheech's too. Like, there's just so much opportunity for these. And you see, John, I agree, man. Like, I went to the Bourbon Festival years and years and years ago, before, I don't know, maybe like 2015.
Yeah, and it was vastly different then too.
It was a night and day different, and it was fun, but I had way more fun at Pours in the Park than that.
Oh, yeah.
So, but like I said, it is different though. So if you come in with the mentality to hunt whiskey and to look for stuff, I think that's different.
But then you might as well just come in and not buy the ticket for the Bourbon Festival.
I would agree.
And just hang out and go do your thing.
Yeah.
And go to a bunch of distilleries and a bunch of stores and all that stuff and just kind of do your thing that way.
Yeah.
And not spend $150 on a ticket.
Mm-hmm.
Which, listen, I know I'm not sure still why they did what they did. Why they did what they did, but they did. There's like a bourbon guild in Bardstown that has like taken over the
bourbon cartel.
Yeah. Yeah. And just kind of done their thing. And that's cool. Like, do you. I mean, people are obviously buying tickets and that's fine. But I don't know that you're going to get a lot of repeat customers in that.
Yeah. Blake, have you been to the Kentucky Bourbon Festival by chance? See, because I haven't been I can only speak for what I've been to.
Yeah.
And, like if I was a distiller, like I've always said, like, I don't know why a distillery doesn't do like a big like day/party like Michter's where they could shut down the alley and just do some stuff with it or whatever. Like they would, Yeah. So would you think one of those two events are better than going to like the Bourbon Festival? I'm assuming since he's only been once, he's like, I ain't going back. Because that's how, honestly, that's how a lot of people, that's how a lot of people are.
Once.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's, you know,
Yeah. I understand that.
So
there's a lot of ways that our state could showcase, or even just individual distilleries could showcase. I mean, heck, we have a park on the waterfront that if Old Forester or Michter's or anybody wanted to do like a day or 2-day event, they could pull it off and do it.
Well, you just have like, I still don't understand why Louisville doesn't do something big like what Bardstown does, because you have, let's just talk. You have Brown Foreman, Old Forester. I'm just talking distilleries. Yes, I know they're all.
Hey, Mike, you're so right. Listen, when the tickets go on sale, don't miss it, man.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah,
totally
don't
recommend.
miss it. It's on our list every single year from now on.
Yeah. Brown Foreman, Old Forester, Evan Williams, Michter's, Stitzel Weller, Angel's Envy, Rabbit Hole. What am I forgetting? I'm forgetting stuff. Old Louisville whiskey. If we want to even go even smaller.
Yeah.
I'm forgetting something. I know I'm forgetting something.
Honestly,
but anyways,
what you said. So,
but I'm just saying, like, you have Angel's Envy, Michter's. Let's just talk big boys. Let's just talk big.
Yeah.
Bigger things or bigger distillers. You have Old Forester. You have Michter's.
Yep.
You have Angel's Envy.
Yep.
You have Evan Williams.
Yep.
And you also have Brown Foreman and Rabbit Hole. Rabbit Hole's, they get a ton of traffic through there.
Yeah.
So, and Stitzel Weller. So you have those 7. If they got together, if the city of Louisville got together and said, "Hey guys, you all come down." Oh yeah, I forgot. Stitzel Weller put out their 22-year Blade and Bow. So for
listen,
like $1,000. I think it was 800. It's product.
Yeah. Now some of those places have done like the Fraser Museum has done a couple nights where they've done bourbon nights and stuff like that.
Yeah, but that's different.
But they're not like they charge an arm and a leg to do something that's like the opportunity to buy something, and you're spending $200 on the opportunity to buy some bottle that is whatever.
What Louisville should do is the same thing that they do for Derby, just do it for bourbon. Do a Louisville bourbon week of some sort. Maybe it's the last week in September or whatever.
Mike,
be awesome.
Mike, you an electrician? That's cool. My family business is electrical. So
Blake, I know. Figures the year we want to go, we'd have travel, which I like Nashville. Don't get me wrong. Like, because it's going to be out in Nashville, I think is what Grease was telling me. But in Nashville is a great time. I just know.
Well, with this great Shelby, with this great renaissance or this great awakening of bourbon that's happened over the last 2 years, I can see where you would think like, okay, the distilleries they don't have to do anything. That's the truth. They don't have to do anything, but they should want to do some things. And I think you're right about that. I think they should want to.
Man, I'm going to interrupt you. The nice little char that starts to open up on this once you start drinking a little bit more.
Yes.
It's so nice and refreshing.
Yeah. So like I think you're on to something there. Like the distilleries could cater a little bit more, but in some ways, sometimes I think that they're
John. That's a great point. Peerless too.
In some ways, I think that they're annoyed by the customers. In some ways, and it's not just all. It's not all the customers. It is the flippers. Wouldn't you say like the?
I think it.
Because Old Forester. Let's just take Old Forester.
Well, hold on. We're literally after this. We're going to be recording a video of kind of a rant about everything that's been going on between distilleries being upset, stores being upset, waiting in line, flippers, all that kind of stuff, right? Because there's been a lot of podcasts, a lot of videos been done about it.
Yeah.
And what's hilarious to me is there's some channels, some podcasts who don't go to these events who I don't want to say they put out misinformation or anything like that, but they're not there and they don't know and they just assume. And luckily for where we're at, we're able to go wait in line a lot. We're able to go and hang out in camp and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like I heard people talk about like at Four Roses, like people were running around the street and people were so drunk off their gourd and all this stuff. I'm like, man, I was there. I was there towards the front of the line at Cox's Creek.
Yeah.
We didn't see any of that.
Yeah.
We were organized. We were lined up. We were all cool.
We were organized.
We were. Shout out to Brian.
Thank
over
you,
at Bourbon.
Brian.
The sheriff,
I wasn't there.
The sheriff of Four Roses.
I wasn't there. I just heard about it.
Because he told everybody, he's like, we're getting in line. We're all going to be organized. We're all going to be cool. And the reason why we were all cool is because we want to be able to continue to do that. Because Four Roses, again, giving everybody there who's in leadership and everything else a ton of credit, they do a really healthy balance between lotteries, between putting stuff at the distillery, between doing special releases, between having the Mellow Moments Club special releases, like even doing something special for the hardcore fans who are able to get in.
Yeah.
I just appreciate that a lot, where some other distilleries are going away from that.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say punishing some of their fan base or some of their customer base, but it appears that way.
Mike, I could understand. I mean, I could understand that. And they, like, the Michter's people, the Old Forester people, they watch guys, not necessarily us, but they watch guys like they watch YouTube and they watch these bourbon people, and they watch the pages, and they see what their stuff is selling for, and they see that kind of stuff, and so they aren't always happy about it.
Oh, Mike, I remember whenever all that went down.
Yeah,
because I remember talking to Vicky about that. So that was the manager that was the manager you were talking to.
Yeah,
and that I don't,
Larry, you didn't want to buy the mellow corn. I mean, why not?
To also be fair to her, I don't think that was her call. So
yeah, I it's just I understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
I do understand. Yeah. Toby, I've not tried Leper's Fork.
Yeah, I haven't either. Yeah, Larry.
I mean, if you have a suggestion, I mean, I'm like, tell us what we should try from there, and I'm sure we're happy to try it.
Heaven Hill has decided to pull some of their higher end allocation. I think they're trying to figure out what they want to do with releasing that stuff.
Yeah. They tried the telling us the night before, and it worked for a while.
I'll be honest with you, I didn't love that method, not because I don't get me wrong, I like knowing what I was going to go down there and wait in line for.
Yeah.
Because I'm somebody, I'll go wait in line. Some people want to argue about how much you value your time for it. If I want something and I know I can go wait in line and get it, I'll typically do it. But the reason why I didn't like it was because for people coming in from out of town, they did it on Tuesday and Thursdays. No offense, most of the time when people come in, tourism's on the weekend.
Yeah,
that's really hard.
Thursday, Friday are probably the days if you're trying to hit tourism.
Thursday, I think, is even pushing it for out.
But there are people who will come in Thursday afternoon and be there for the weekend.
Sure, but it's hard to get down there because realistically, you have to get down there Wednesday night.
Craig, I'm not hating on. I'm not bashing the mellow corn. I'm just saying, like, if it's that's the only thing sitting out there.
I mean, it's fine, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't own a bottle for a reason, but I mean, I guess it's fine. Yeah, Toby, it's weird. Because talking about the secondary just really quick, these distilleries in these liquor stores, they watch it. They do. We can say we're our own worst enemy, but at the same time, I've been told by somebody higher up at a massive distillery in Tennessee, one of the world's biggest distilleries out there, and they're in Tennessee. One of the arguments for them to continue to release their or to do their limited edition series was because they wanted something cool on the secondary. Now, this said person is a higher up there, like in management leadership. Yeah. And they said they wanted to have something cool on the secondary because it would help build popularity amongst the brand. And then here we are with some really awesome stuff from said distillery. You can't say.
I mean, I'm not saying which one. It could be on a hill somewhere far away.
I mean, technically, maybe. So yeah, but it is what it is. Secondary, we can all argue about round and round and round on it, but it is what it is, and it's
Yeah.
never going away.
Yeah. No.
As long as bourbon's still
Yeah.
still
As
popular
long
is
as
what it is.
this. Yeah.
Let's see. It's several. Like I value my time, but knowing Zach would be camping out would a swing session wait line, fun times to be had. Hey, Blake, you're not wrong. I'll tell you this because he's been to a couple of them with me.
I don't get to do it a lot because
He's
like
lazy.
I said, I have older, not lazy. I do have older kids who
he has
like,
to have beauty sleep.
My time is torn, man. It just is. Like
I have younger kids.
Yeah. Well, I mean, younger kids can be left at home with mama.
No, I will say whenever me and the guys I hang out with, and I feel like we're all a bunch of brothers, because trust me, we can argue like brothers sometimes.
Yeah.
Whenever we go and we camp out, we do it right.
Oh, yes.
Like I will say the guys who we do, we
Yes.
will, some of you guys know who came
If
down
you're
to
privy,
the Four Roses.
if you're privy to kind of be in an area where Zach and his crew are.
It's not my crew. It's like just the crew I hang out with. The guys I hang out with.
No, it's not his crew, but I'm saying he's part of that crew of people.
I'm very lucky.
When I'm in those areas and I'm able to camp out at night and stuff like that, it is a very, very good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the guys.
And everybody's generous and nice and I mean, generally that's what you get in the bourbon world anyway. Like everybody's just generally nice and wants to share good stuff and have a good time and not a lot of mischief going on. So
yeah, that is the nice thing that people, for the most part, the people who I hang out with, well, not for the most part, all the guys I hang out with.
Where is Toby? Where is Lepers Fort? I'm assuming you said around Nashville, so I'm assuming it's in Tennessee.
Craig, your go-to, is that a go-to or is it no? I'm sorry, just in a pinch. Mellow Corn and OJ.
I mean, I'm willing to try it. Listen, I'll go pick up a bottle of Mellow Corn.
Mike caught me and Joe caught me. Definitely Dickel.
Yeah, 100% Dickel.
Yeah, 1,000%.
They're known to be on a hill somewhere.
They're known to have high-end allocation out there.
Yes, they are.
Yeah,
for sure.
Tennessee, 20 minutes south of Nashville. It might be something to go do.
Yeah,
I'm telling you right now, if we're going to Whiskey Weekend, then we're definitely going to go Jack Daniels.
Yes,
we're definitely have to figure that out.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so I think that's pretty much everything tonight.
I think.
Have we talked about everything? It's 9:30.
Anything else? Hey, anything else you guys want to talk about? I mean, we're game to stay on here. Listen, I'm drinking his bourbon. I'm good to go. Like I could stay on here for 2 or 3 more hours.
Well, you see all that stuff over there that we're gonna be drinking, right? We got to sample those, and we got to review them tonight.
I mean, he's talking about work. Like we're talking about practice.
I'm talking about practice.
We're talking about practice here. Listen, I'd rather stay on and hang out with you guys. You all tell us what you want to talk about, and we'll keep going. Like I'm not scared.
He also has to be the one that go to work tomorrow, and I'm staying up all night because I gotta swing the night.
You gotta flip your schedule tonight. Nice. I do have to go to work, but I also I've been burning it this last week and a half. Listen, I literally was going from morning till night in Guatemala. Listen, if you've ever been to Guatemala, if you've not ever been to Guatemala, you should go to visit Guatemala because it is an awesome place. I happened to go and man, I love it. I love it down there. If you can get past the language barrier, if you don't speak it, it's just a super cool place. Beautiful scenery, all that good stuff. So
I think, yeah. I've never been to Guatemala, so I can't speak. I know that's a passion. I'm being serious. That whole thing is a passion of yours. So.
Yeah, it really is. Like I've been 4 times in the last three and a half years. So it's just a cool place to be.
Mike, I don't. Hold on one second.
Larry here. While Zach's saying, hold on a minute, Larry, the worst bottle on my bar right now. I'm not sure about him. it's not actually on my bar as we speak because it's sitting over here, is the Willet Pot Still. That is probably my worst bottle that I have. The other worst bottle that I had, I poured out about a year ago because I just like it wasn't worth having on my thing. So I'd say the Willet Pot Still for me.
So, Mike, you were asking about the Heaven Hill 14-year select stock. This is it. This is actually part of the bottle of your own. We actually, well, I did. You didn't go, did you?
Where?
To the bottle of your own to get one?
I did not get the opportunity to that. I have the other one. The
gotcha.
other one. Yeah.
So was able to go down there and do it. Did it with some friends. Actually, it's gonna be kind of hard to tell. I don't know how this will look, but I can't reach that far. But I was able.
Yeah,
I can't do it.
Yeah.
But I was able to put Bourbon Kingdom on there, and yeah, it's 132.3 proof. It's really good. It was $200, so if you didn't get it, I wouldn't. It wouldn't.
This is 132.8 proof, and was probably only $75.
It's 2 years younger, and if I'm gonna be honest with you, I think I like that one better.
This, Paul, again, if you're still on here,
yeah,
boy, thank you. I'm gonna be drinking on this for a while.
Crushed it. Oh, the Heaven Hill Select Stock 14 is a distillery tour only. Yeah, you do bourbon.
Yeah,
and they don't have it right now, so it's gone.
Now
they're
only doing something like Bernheim and something else right now. I've had a couple of people tell me like, "Hey, they wasn't worth doing the tour for."
Yeah, McWhiskey, I have had it. There's that cherry note on there that either you love or you hate. At least for me, it was, and I liked it. I didn't love it, but I think we've had this conversation. Because aren't you a big old Fitz fan? And I'm not, for the most part, if I remember correctly.
Hey, Mike. I mean, I've heard that the Elijah Craig on the tour is a pretty good bottle.
I've done those tours a couple times now, and if I'm being honest with you, the Elijah Craig a lot of times is the best bottle available. The difference is that you'll always be able to get one of those, and you won't always be able to get one of these special releases. So you always go with that special release.
Toby's giving us the thumbs up on the Elijah Craig barrel proof on the bottle your own.
Oh yeah, no question.
Yeah.
Toby, I'll also say at Bernheim. So the very first one I ever had there, it was like this grainy, weeded, like I had rocks in my mouth.
It wasn't cast strength at that time.
No, it was. No,
was
the bottle you do bourbon. I'm sorry. This is the you do bourbon.
Yeah.
We'll say the bottle your own. The bottle.
It's basically your bottle your own bourbon.
It is, but the bottle your own is your at Michter's. But yeah, no, it was terrible. The last time I went to it though, it wasn't as bad. So we'll see.
New barrel. Who dis?
New barrel. Where we at? Oh yeah, that's true. Yes. So Mike, I think they just now got the glass back for it. And I don't know if y'all can hear that or not.
You might be able to.
So my dogs sleep right above me, or sleep right above us where we're at in our bedroom, our master bedroom.
Hey,
and they
Toby, it's basically the same thing. Bottle your own, you do.
Whatever. Oh yeah, it's not a big deal. Yeah. I was just in my slow mind. I was just getting confused.
Yeah, for sure.
So, but yeah, all right. I do think we need to wrap this up.
All right, let's wrap it up
because we got stuff we got to do.
I gotta work. Yeah,
I know. Yeah, for sure. All right, guys. Well, we appreciate it.
So, hey, listen, stay tuned because is it next week we're gonna start
next week will be
three
week. We'll make a post about it probably here coming up on this weekend. Just kind of laying out our schedule and stuff like that, so that way you all can see. But the reviews will start coming out on Monday, so that way because everybody else does reviews on Monday, so I want to compete with them. If we're not gonna be first,
we're gonna be last.
We'll be tied for first on some of these.
If you ain't first, you're last, guys. I don't know if you knew that.
The Tuesdays and Thursdays, I don't know. I don't know if we'll stick with like the kind of Thursday videos that we do, and then like the other day, will be
whatever it is. We'll have 3 videos out.
Yeah. So, but anyways, yeah, I think that will. I think that pretty much wraps it up. So we appreciate you guys. By the way, I know it's been a long time since we've done live stream. You all have been awesome.
We're gonna do these more often. We promise.
Sorry, let's talk about how I need your charger. My wife just said I need your charger. So I guess she did we take one from upstairs?
No.
I don't know. Anyways, yeah, Paul, by the way, shout out to Paul again. We can't speak enough.
Yep, for sure.
So you sent us those bottles, man. That was super cool. And for anybody else who ever wants to send us a free bottle, we'll review it and try it on.
Hey, listen, I love King of Kentucky. So if anybody, I'm just kidding.
Of course he does.
So just kidding.
But we appreciate.
I'm not kidding. I do love King of Kentucky, but that was a joke.
But again, we appreciate everybody. We have some other big stuff we're talking about doing. Maybe because Advent's getting ready to come up.
Yeah. Mike, I'm glad you caught that reference too, by the way.
So we'll be, I saw that too. So we'll be asking for samples then, maybe potentially something really different this year for Advent.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
I'm fully prepared to lose no matter what it is. Doesn't really matter.
Hey, Sierra, there you are.
Hey, Sierra, what's up?
Long time no speak, friend. Miss you.
You're here right at the tail end.
I know, right at the tail end. There you go. Perfect timing, just to make an appearance. But anyways, so yeah, I think it's basically it.
Sweet, Paul. Thank you. We appreciate it, man.
So,
all right. Well, till the next live stream.
Yep.
We'll see you.
See y'all.